Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds, and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.
Imagine transforming your body completely at any age. This warrior babe reshaped her physique in just 2.5 years by adding muscle and reducing body fat. And today, you're going to discover exactly how she achieved these incredible results.
Hey everyone, really quick before we dive into today's episode, I have an exciting milestone to celebrate with all of you. The Macro Hour podcast has officially reached 500,000 downloads. That's 500,000 downloads in just 1.5 years of being born. I could not have done this without you guys. Thank you all so freaking much. And now I want to hear your stories. If you could just take 10 minutes of your time to fill out a testimonial, that testimonial link is in the description below, that would mean the absolute world to me. How has the Macro Hour podcast positively impacted your life? What have you taken away from this show? How have you applied it, and what results have you gotten? Your story could be featured in one of our special celebration episodes to come. So if you could, please head over to the testimonial link. The link is in the show notes below, and share your journey with me. Thank you all so much for being an essential part of this freaking amazing Macro Hour community. You guys all rock. I love you all so much. So let's celebrate this achievement together. Again, that testimonial link is in the show notes below. Thank you all so much.
Welcome to the Macro Hour with Nikki Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikki Stott, and on this episode, we're going to deep dive into Cheryl's journey with WarriorBabe. From her initial muscle building phase to multiple fat loss phases, we'll cover it all. And make sure you stick around to the end to learn why cycling through building and cutting phases might just be the best approach for anyone looking to build a strong, lean body.
This warrior babe completely transformed her body in a matter of 2.5 years by adding more muscle and decreasing body fat. And the craziest part is she's 60 years old. Over the next few minutes, I'm gonna take you on a journey of how she did it and explain all of the things that happened to get her to where she is today. From gaining 20 pounds on her first building phase to losing 20 pounds in her first cut. And make sure you guys stay until the end to find out why going through multiple building and fat loss phases is the best thing you can possibly do when trying to build muscle. There were no special circumstances or enhancements of any kind, just pure hard work, consistency, and being patient with the process. All things anybody has the ability to do. So let's dive into it and find out just what it takes to build muscle at any age. Once Cheryl found myself in WarriorBabe, she first started her journey in a building phase, where we had planned to bulk up, build more muscle, and increase her caloric intake. So for the next 9 months, we increased her up to 3,300 calories per day, which was a huge increase from what she had been eating before. It took time for her to adjust to these new numbers, which is normal, but it definitely paid off. Those 3,300 calories consisted of 150 grams of protein, 485 grams of carbs, and 85 grams of fat. She was working out 5 days per week with minimal cardio activity. After a few months of sticking with this, she ended up gaining 20 pounds, some of that being muscle mass and some fat, but all of it making a huge difference in the way that her overall body looked. Now, gaining 20 pounds can be hard to grasp, and it isn't always that drastic of an increase while building, but Cheryl had a goal of building more muscle and knew that gaining some weight was a part of the process. Eating more food is crucial when trying to build muscle due to several reasons. First and most important, building muscle requires a caloric surplus, meaning that you need to consume more calories than your body needs for basic functions and daily activities. This surplus of calories provides the extra energy and repair that your body and muscles need in order to grow. Next up, protein is a vital macronutrient for muscle building. When you exercise, particularly through weight training, resistance training, which is all Cheryl did, your muscles experience small tears or damage, so consuming sufficient protein amounts through your daily nutrition ensures that your body has the necessary building blocks for muscle tissue repair and growth. Also, intense workouts like strength training demand a significant amount of energy, so eating enough food, particularly carbohydrates and protein, and why Cheryl was eating 485 grams of carbohydrates daily, provides the fuel necessary to perform those workouts optimally, allowing you to lift heavier weights, perform more repetitions, and challenge your muscles. And having the right food intake ensures the availability of essential nutrients, including vitamins and minerals, which support overall health and, most importantly, optimize muscle growth. And lastly, on why eating more food is crucial when you're in the building phase is optimizing your recovery and your adaptations for your muscle. They are so important when it comes to muscle building. During that recovery phase, your muscles need to repair and become stronger. So having the right food intake during this phase supplies and the nutrients required for optimal recovery, ensuring and enabling that your body is adapting and building muscle effectively. After her first building phase, she went into her first fat loss phase. This is when all of her hard work started to show as she slowly began to lose a total of 20 pounds in 7 months. But it was so much more than just weight loss. It was a complete body transformation. With following a proper nutrition protocol for her fat loss phase, the lowest her calories went to were 1,900 calories. And that consisted of 150 grams of protein, 225 grams of carbohydrates, and 50 grams of fat. And during this, she was able to successfully hold on to the muscle mass she built while decreasing the body fat around that muscle. From that happening, she saw huge changes in how her muscles were growing and developing, and how much leaner and stronger they were becoming. Not to mention, she only worked out 5 days a week and had 3 to 4 cardio days at max 30 minutes. Cheryl wanted more though, more muscle that is. So from there, we went into her second building phase, where she worked to put on more muscle mass while staying relatively lean this time, as opposed to her first building phase. In 5 months, she only gained 8 pounds. And some of that being muscle mass. The highest that her calories got here were 2,800, which consisted of 150 grams of protein, 400 grams of carbs, and 70 grams of fat daily, and working out 5 days a week, again with minimal cardio activity during this building phase. Now here, we are almost 2 years into her journey, and this is where the best results happened. Following her second build, we moved into her second fat loss phase. Now it's important to note, building more muscle and eating more food can have significant benefits for your metabolism when transitioning into a fat loss phase. Muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning it requires more energy, more calories to maintain compared to fat tissue. So by building more muscle, you increase your body's overall metabolic rate even at rest. This increased metabolic rate, often referred to as your basal metabolic rate or your BMR, results in more calories burned throughout the day, which can support fat loss. So when you transition into a fat loss phase, it's common to reduce your caloric intake to create a calorie deficit. However, if you have more muscle mass, your body will continue to burn more calories even when consuming fewer calories. This is because muscle tissue requires more energy for maintenance compared to fat tissue.
Hey everyone, I just want to take a second to interrupt the show and share some exciting news with you all. We're launching a new brand partnership program. If you're passionate about fitness and wellness and love empowering women just like we do at WarriorBabe, this could be an incredible opportunity for you. We're especially looking for women who are going through menopause, are premenopause, or postmenopause. And as a brand partner, you'll be filming content that aligns with our brand and mission, helping us spread the WarriorBabe message far and wide. Plus, you can earn some fantastic benefits along the way. So head over to WarriorBabe.com/partner to learn more and apply today. That's WarriorBabe.com/partner. And the link is in the show notes. Let's work together to inspire and empower even more women. All right, let's get back to the show.
Once Cheryl had spent time in already 2 building phases and focused 2 years on strength training to build more muscle, not to mention her insane consistency, this set her second fat loss up for major success. In 4 short months, Cheryl lost 15 pounds, putting her at the lowest weight of 134 pounds, but most importantly, the leanest, most defined and toned she has ever been. She looked freaking incredible and just such an inspiration to so many at this point now being 59 years old. The lowest her calories got here were 1,800. That consisted of 150 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbohydrates, and 48 grams of fat, and working out 5 days a week with only 3 to 4 days of cardio. So overall, again to note, building more muscle and eating more food with a strategic framework can benefit your metabolism during a fat loss phase. Now, we've since moved through a 3rd building phase and now currently in her 3rd fat loss phase, where she's currently sitting at the same weight she started with me 3 years ago, at 142 pounds, but looks drastically different and goes to show why the scale doesn't reflect your full story, especially when wanting to achieve the outcome of having more muscle and less body fat. Muscle is denser and more compact than fat. Therefore, a pound of muscle takes up less space than a pound of fat does. For example, Cheryl A, start of her journey, and Cheryl B, now, both weigh 144-ish pounds, but Cheryl B has a higher percentage of muscle and lower percentage of body fat. This contributes to a leaner and more toned appearance, while Cheryl A had a higher body fat percentage and lower percentage of muscle mass, resulting in a softer or less defined physique. It's important to note that body weight and your scale alone does not provide a comprehensive understanding of your body composition. Do not let that number on your scale define you and your journey. It's so much more than just that number. It's about how strong, how confident you feel in your own skin because of all the hard work that you've put into yourself. And Cheryl is a true testament to that. Cheryl, to this day, is still crushing her journey. However, I want to highlight that 2.5 years is how long it took Cheryl to achieve the incredible result she did after completing her 2nd fat loss phase. It is often recommended to go through multiple building and fat loss phases to achieve the desired look of having more muscle and less body fat for several reasons. First, muscle building and fat loss are distinct processes that require different approaches. Building muscle typically requires that caloric surplus, as we talked about that Cheryl went through, and the focus on the strength training to stimulate muscle growth. While fat loss involves a caloric deficit and a combination of cardiovascular exercise and proper nutrition to promote fat burning. Attempting to simultaneously build muscle and lose fat can be challenging since these goals have conflicting requirements. By alternating between phases, you can optimize your efforts and focus on each goal individually. Second, going through building and fat loss phases allows for strategic progression. During the building phase, as mentioned during Cheryl's story, you can focus on gaining muscle mass and strength. With a caloric surplus and proper training, you can maximize muscle growth, leading to an increase in lean muscle mass. This phase helps lay the foundation for a more defined and toned physique. Once you have built a solid muscle base, transitioning to a fat loss phase becomes way more effective. By reducing your caloric intake and incorporating cardio exercises, you can create a caloric deficit that promotes fat loss. As showcased with Cheryl, since she already built muscle during the previous build phase, there is a higher likelihood of preserving that muscle mass while shedding excess body fat during her fat loss phase. This approach helps reveal the muscular definition and shape built underneath of the fat. Also, going through multiple phases allows for a more sustainable and balanced approach. Rapid weight loss or extreme caloric restriction can have negative impacts on your metabolism, on your energy levels, and overall well-being. By incorporating building phases in between fat loss phases, you give your body a chance to recover, to build strength, and to to maintain a healthy metabolic rate. This balanced approach helps prevent muscle loss, it supports long-term progress, and reduces the risk of yo-yo dieting in the future. And finally, the desired look of having more muscle and less body fat is often achieved through a gradual transformation. It takes time and patience to build muscle and reduce body fat while maintaining overall health. Going through multiple phases allows you to fine-tune your physique, adjust your training and nutrition strategies, and make gradual improvements over time. This approach is way more sustainable, realistic, and conducive to long-term success. So to wrap it all up, going through multiple building and fat loss phases is recommended to achieve the desired look of having more muscle and less body fat. By alternating between phases, you can optimize your efforts, you can focus on each goal individually, you can strategically progress, maintain a balanced approach, and gradually transform your physique just like Cheryl did, from 57 years old to now 60 years old. If you're inspired by Cheryl's story and want to make changes with your body and do it the right way, then I highly recommend checking out WarriorBabe programs and getting one-on-one coaching today. Wherever you are at in your journey, our coaches are here to help you along the process. Click the link found below this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to the end of the show. I hope you really enjoyed that podcast. Really quick, if you're a woman aged 45 through 65 and finding menopause challenging, listen closely. WarriorBabe is here to help you reclaim your body and your confidence. At WarriorBabe, we've empowered over 18,000 women to lose stubborn body fat, build toned muscle, and understand their bodies better. Our personalized plans based on hormone and thyroid testing and more ensure you get exactly what you need to see real results and real results that last. Imagine feeling stronger, more energized, and in control of your health. Don't let menopause hold you back any longer. Head over to WarriorBabe.com/apply and join our amazing community today. That's WarriorBabe.com/apply. The link is in the show notes below. Thanks again for listening to the episode, and I'll see you in the next one.